Hasan Piker is crying bias in the ETH Klein lawsuit, both in the system at large and from law tubers like myself. So we're going to get into that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a fast facts premiere, giving you the hot and dirty business in a shorter version, a packed version. If you've been liking these, let me know below. A lot of you guys are new to the channel as well, so welcome, and I hope you love the coverage. My goal is to be objective, entertaining, and give you education about the law. So that's what we focus on here. But today we have claims from Hasan that indeed the system and also the lawyers covering it, like myself, are not being objective. So I want to get into some of his arguments here today, both of those, and we of course have clips to back that up. So let's get into the first one here, where he is talking about the lawsuits more at large in the system. Let's hear what Hasan has to say.
All this while snark subreddits and similar harassment just caused another creator to commit suicide. Yeah, I heard about that. The Fox Sanctuary woman. It's so sad.
I don't know if, and I don't know what the implication here is, whether he's trying to imply that something might happen, but you know, let's continue here. There's a lot of dead air.
The legal complaints are in California for Denims and Frogan. Wait, what do you mean?
So this is another point which I think is very interesting is, you know, a lot of people can comment on stuff, but I'm not sure whether he doesn't understand what a legal complaint is, or he doesn't understand how lawsuits work. I'm not really sure what he doesn't understand, but it's always very interesting when people decide to comment deeply on stuff that they really have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Call it for what it is. He's abusing the legal system the way stalkers do. No, that's precisely what he's doing. But in this circumstance, because the legal system is fucking busted, because the legal system is fundamentally broken, if you have a lot of money, you can do this kind of thing. When you're depraved and you're manic and you're an insane person and you don't care about like wasting unlimited funds, especially considering that he does technically have virtually unlimited funds, you can be a vexatious litigant.
Let's stop there. So pseudo-intellectuals like Hasan like to use big words that they don't understand. The word vexatious litigant does not just mean someone who files a lot of lawsuits. That is, you know, it's not just that. A vexatious litigant is someone who files lawsuits with no merit, meaning they're going to get immediately dismissed, meaning these are lawsuits with no legal basis. And what you never hear from Hasan is you never hear him talking anything at all about the legal basis. Now, if he wants to argue that the system is broken, that's fine. And in fact, even myself and other law tubers have admitted that yes, parties with a lot of money tend to do better in court. That is very much true. And we've admitted that and talked about that. And I've been a critic of that when it comes to certain cases like with Walt Disney and the Walt Disney Corporation. That can be a problem. But throwing out words like vexatious litigant kind of goes against the rub here, because you have to admit that it has merit if you can come up with no legal argument against the case. Not an emotional argument, not a claim of bias, not any other claim. You have to tell me, Hasan Piker, why legally they will win. Your orbiters will win, and ETH Klein will lose. Otherwise, it is a meritorious claim. That's a big word you can use now, meritorious, Hasan. So these are meritorious complaints, which are going to get past a motion to dismiss, which is, just to explain for you, for Hasan and for everybody out there, that's the first step. Now, that does not mean ETH Klein will ultimately prevail. ETH Klein may very well lose this case. Now, we've said, hey, doesn't look good for Hasan's orbiters. It's looking kind of bad for Hasan's orbiters. I think, in all fairness, the odds are on Ethan here, but they're never 100%. There's always a chance that your orbiters can prevail. whether individually in individual cases or separately. Maybe one of them prevails and the others don't, or maybe all of them prevail. It's possible. It's not 0% chance. Ethan is not 100% going to win, but the odds are in his favor. And that's all we've been saying kind of at large, which is very interesting here. But we'll let him talk a little bit more.
And it's like having a mentally ill stalker who has an unlimited amount of money and power. And not only does he have an unlimited amount of money and power, he also makes content off of this. So it turns into more money for him down the line. That's it. That's what it is. And given the way that our legal system works, given the way that our court system works, given the way that copyright works, there's really nothing you can do about it other than...
So hold on. Hasan himself has just admitted that his orbiters are going to lose. So he's actually admitting, he's saying that's the way copyright works. So he's conceding that legally they're screwed, which means, once again, Hasan is saying it's a meritorious claim. It's not vexatious, Hasan. We're going to teach you big words, so you can use them in the right way. I want you to use them right, Hasan. Let's continue here.
Hope that it goes away eventually. Just like cyber stalkers, we do not have an adequate measure against cyber stalking, and just like stalking in general, we don't have...
Let's stop right there, and we're going to stop this clip right there. So there are cyber stalking laws. In fact, many states have cyber stalking laws. Now, you can argue they're not robust enough, but to say they don't exist or they're non-existent, that's not true. They are indeed existent. Now, they may not be as intense as Hasan wants them to be, but if you go too far with cyber stalking statutes, they can silence free speech, and they would be a violation of free speech protections. So if you went too far, you're going to push against that. So that's the balance here, Hasan. Now, I think Hasan seem like he leans on the side of silencing free speech, right? And on the side of making cyber stalking really high, but that's a delicate balance. That's a very delicate balance. So that goes to the systemic arguments that Hasan made. But Hasan didn't stop there. And he made these comments, and Nicholas DeOrio, who actually had an amazing stream, I popped into that one, had some comments about Hasan's thoughts about LawTube, because he's talking about the LawTubers and our coverage. And LawTubers, the general LawTube sphere, people like myself, Ian Runkle, Uncivil Law, a lot of us have commented on this, and pretty much all of us have said, yeah, the claims look like they have a prima facie basis. They look like they're going to get past the motion to dismiss. They're going to get the discovery, right? That's as far as we can say, okay, looks pretty good on that. But none of us have said, hey, Ethan is 100% going to win. It's a shoe. And none of us have come out and said we're pro Ethan Klein. As I've said before, I could care less about Ethan Klein, and I could care less about the orbiters. I care about the law. But let's hear what Ethan has. Let's hear what Hasan has to say about the lawsuit and our coverage.
It's legal YouTubers and free speech people are extra quiet. No, I think there's some legal YouTubers who have covered it, but they're like pro Ethan. Yeah.
No, they're just telling you the fucking facts of the case. What are you saying? Oh, dude, I'm sorry. They're compromised, dude. They're pro Ethan.
To cover this with me,
dude, the lawyers are all compromised
on Israel-Palestine, which they are not. It's legal YouTubers and free speech people are extra quiet.
So this is great. I let Nick's comments just go to it. We are just commenting on the facts. We're commenting on the law, right? If you want to say the law is pro Ethan, all that says that means his side has more legal basis. And I would love to have more legal commentary and have somebody to, spar with and intellectually debate with the law on the other side. If people want to say these legal elements are more pro Denims, Frogan, and now we have Sean the Black coming in, Casey Tron. If anyone wants to bring up legal points, I'll be happy to analyze those and look at those, and I'll be happy to give them a fair, objective consideration. However, emotional arguments, claims of bias, claims that we don't know enough about Israel and Palestine, that has nothing to do with this lawsuit. This lawsuit has nothing to do with any political element. It has to do with copyright. And we're going to keep it educational and objective on this channel. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you